Welcome to the space age. Pseudo Killas in the back, keeping it real. Good juju, bad juju. Watch how we ride. Anthony Bowman, vision so clear. Scope at the stars. I'm a space age African kid. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. I'm from the south, but I'm jiggling the stars. Universe is mine, we born from the bars. Whip pops out and rap trap, greatest confident. On machine 808, that the man, it kind of room for a T, A2. Heck, fuck, solid and real. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Shut. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Pseudo Killas in the back, keeping it real. Good juju, bad juju. Watch how we ride. Anthony Bowman, vision so clear. Scope at the stars. I'm a space age African kid. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. I'm from the south, but I'm jiggling the stars. Universe is mine, we born from the bars. Whip pops out and rap trap, greatest confident. On machine 808, that the man, it kind of room for a T, A2. Heck, fuck, solid and real. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Shut. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Welcome to the space age. Pseudo Killas in the back, keeping it real. Good juju, bad juju. Watch how we ride. Anthony Bowman, vision so clear. Scope at the stars. I'm a space age African kid. Welcome to the space age.
Four defenders won't have a chance. Did they want it though, Steve? Did they want it? Did they want this game to end? Okay. With minute 10 to play. Yo, what's happening? Preseason football on 9 News is Doug Marino. Director Joel Meyer.
Whip pops out and rap trap, greatest confident. On machine 808, that the man, it kind of room for a T, A2.
All right, what's happening, people? I'm trying to
figuring it out. So please bear with me. Bear with me, please. Appreciate y'all coming through. This is my first attempt at going live. So y'all bear with me, but I'm getting there. But what we want to do is first of all, thank everybody for coming through. Appreciate y'all. Who we got in the house? Let's see. The God Killer. Appreciate you there, brother. Brother Unk in the house. Vyasa. Gullah, what's happening, bro? My good sister, Miss Juju, always there for me. Emmanuel Briggs, appreciate you. Miss Felicia, hey, what's happening, baby? You doing all right? What else we got? All right, that'll work. Smiles, what's up, dude? You doing all right? That's what's happening. But yeah, I just wanted to come through real quick, just get my feet wet on the going live part. But what I really want to do is, get into the cosmos. And that's what the Spaceage African is all about. So we got the scope set up. Gonna be seeing what we can do as far as showing you guys the process of getting pictures and how we do it. So if you can see my screen, let's see. Can y'all see my screen? Yeah, okay. All right, what we got up right now, I'm just taking pictures of what's called the Elephant Trunk Nebula. And what I'm really trying to capture here is those dark regions, like along in here. Those are like areas of dust that sit actually in front of like what's here. Like this is the reddish, what you see, those are hydrogen clouds. So we got dust lanes along in here. You can see all the dust that sits in front or within those hydrogen clouds. So this is what I'm doing actually, right now. But what I want to do with you guys is I'm gonna stop that capture and let's find the pseudo killers in the cosmos. Let's do that. So what we're gonna do is getting ready to move my scope, and we're gonna find. Let's see, I'm facing to the north, so let's get Chilim Boy Sosa in here, the brain in the sky. Which will be the Crescent Nebula. So what I'm doing now is actually framing it up. Now the telescope will move. Let me zoom out so you can actually get a good idea of what's happening. That red box there is where I want to go, and the blue box is where the telescope is actually pointed at the moment. So what I'll do is hit go to, and now the telescope is slewing. What you call slewing are moving to that spot. And let's see, Can answer a few questions while that's happening. Bro Marco, what tool is this? All right, I'm using for my telescope, I have an FRA 400C, which is made by a company called Ascar, and it's what you would call a quintuplet refractor. So it has 5 elements or 5 glass elements in it to help with color correction and things like that. And on my mount is a Skywatcher HEQ5 Pro, which is an equatorial mount. And then for my camera is an ASI 533 MC Pro, and it's all controlled by my ASI Air, which allows me to do what I'm doing now. So that's pretty dope. And I do another show as far as like, buying telescopes, looking at telescopes. Matter of fact, I might do that tomorrow. Just, giving myself a little more practice. Okay, now we have the the first, this is a 5-second shot. I normally do 5 minutes exposures. You'll get, I'm gonna do a 5-minute exposure. I'm gonna start it here in a second. But you'll get more detail with a longer exposure. Like I say, this is only 5 seconds. So this is to get me lined up on where I want to be. And now I'm just waiting for my guiding. This up here is the guiding. I'm waiting on it to settle down. Once it settles, then I'll start my capture. And we'll get our first 5-minute exposure of Chilimboy Sosa, which would, I guess you can say, one of the entries in our Spaceage Africans Atronomy Club catalog, the Pseudo Killas in the Cosmos. It's pretty dope. I liked it. Okay, our guiding has settled down. You want to get them, that red line and that blue line as close to that middle line as possible. And this is what the guiding page looks like. So all of these stars, but you have these little circles around certain stars, and then this one in the middle with this box. What this does is it communicates with the mount to keep the picture steady. So the sky is moving, the earth is spinning on its axis and rotating. So this guiding tool helps to keep the mount moving in the same direction so you can get the long exposures. Okay, it has settled down pretty good, so we'll start. No, I need to go to auto run. In my auto run, these are my parameters I have set. That's from my last capture, you get me? But these are my parameters. I'll be collecting light frames at 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. The gain is the amount of light that your camera allows to the sensor. So I got it set at about 150, and to repeat 150 times. So that'll be 150 5-minute exposures. And then in the morning, what I would do is stack all those together. But let's start on that first exposure. Okay, while that's doing its thing, let's see what we got. Can get into the chat here a second. Yeah, it's all done digitally there, bro Marco. Everything is done digitally. Let's see. Vyasa Agula. Now, the most telescope, no, I don't know of a telescope that comes with an a solar filter. You can buy them. They're not that expensive, depending on the size of the scope you have. They're not that expensive at all, though. But I recommend you have one if you're gonna be looking at the sun. Don't do it without it. I don't care what none of the people say. They may have those special powers, but I wouldn't advise it at all. Do not ever look at the sun, especially through a telescope or any kind of looking device, without a filter. You're gonna burn your retinas. Hey, brother, I think I got one. I'm gonna call the Gorilla Nebula too. Yeah, look like an ape in the sky, dog. So yeah, you on that. Let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, it's a lot going on, Marco, when it comes down to amateur astronomy. I mean, you can get there's so many telescopes and accessories to go with them. It's a lot. Yeah, I'll do it. Matter of fact, I'll come back in the morning and we'll do another show. And basically, that's what we'll do. We'll shop for a good telescope. Peace to you, Gary Barrett. Peace, my brother. Peace, the Chilim Way. Now I'm gonna let you do that, bro, Marco. I'm gonna stick with the stargazing. I'm gonna let you go through that portal. I'm gonna hang back and see what happened. Yeah, I'm gonna hang back and see what happened when you go through that portal. All right, let's see what we got. Has it been 5 minutes? Let's see. See what we got here. Oh man. Oh, okay. Well, we got to wait, y'all. It's getting ready to flip. So what's about to happen is Chilimwe Sosa is about to hit the meridian. So what that means is, see this green line right here? That's called the meridian. That's the halfway point, in the sky. So to give you the big picture, we're shooting right here in the Cygnus constellation, which is what's known as the what do they call it? Some kind of bird or something anyway. But it's getting close to this line. So what's gonna happen, the telescope is gonna flip. So we'll come back to Chilimwe Sosa. Let's go to Kick Dolo. Let's find Kick Dolo on here. Right about there. Now that's Kick Dolo, will be formerly known as Andromeda, the Andromeda Galaxy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move to this one. We'll get Kick Dolo, and then we'll come back to Chilimboy Sosa, because that meridian flip is gonna take a while. It's gonna take about 10 minutes for it to actually do what it needs to do and get all lined up. So let me stop this. I hope I ain't too late. Maybe too late, y'all. But we're gonna try it anyway. Let's see. Let's go to M31. Okay, now the scope is moving. Okay, I'm lined up there. Let's back out and let's watch it move. Okay, you'll see the blue box coming to the screen. Now you see that blue box? Now that's letting me know that the telescope is moving and it's gonna line up with this red one here. And then we're gonna get a 5-second exposure. Once it gets lined up, you know, it detects so many stars, and that it does something what's called plate solving, and that actually lets the mount know whether it's on target, off target, but the computer knows exactly where it's pointing at in the sky. And it's going by these coordinates. These are the coordinates of each object. It's like an address, like your home address. So each object in the sky has a coordinates. Okay, so here we go. This is the core of Andromeda, or Kigdolo. And like I say, this is a 5-second exposure. So now I need to turn my guiding on. Okay, this is what the guide camera looking at. This is the core of Andromeda right here. So I know I'm in good shape. So I start my guiding. Okay, now what it's gonna do is, since I changed targets, it's doing a calibration. I'm sorry, I was about to say collaboration, but calibrating. So what it's actually lining itself up and getting its movements together. That way it knows where it's going, when it needs to move. That information is relayed to the telescope mount. Now, when it comes down to astrophotography, you have to have an automated mount. It's nowhere around it. If you don't, you know, you're gonna have streaks in your pictures. And what I'll do is I give you a good idea that once it gets done calibrating the guiding, I'm gonna turn the guiding off and take a picture, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And that's how we know, you know, that everything out there is moving. The earth is spinning as it revolves around the sun. And then you have everything else is spinning as well. So yeah, it's pretty dope how all this works. Let's see, we still calibrating. So I have to let it get done calibrating. And then we'll start our long exposure. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you that what I'm talking about as far as having to have this type of system to actually take pictures. Now I do know, yeah, Cygnus the Swan. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a swan. And when you actually look at it, when you look at Cygnus itself, yeah. So that's the head of the swan. And you can see like this star and those three, you can actually see those with, you know, pretty moderate light pollution. Those 4 stars are really bright when you look to the, guess you could say the northeast, but looking up or looking out, those stars are pretty bright. They're easy to, to detect even with light pollution. So yeah, you can, those are ones that you can actually see. Like I say, they're pretty bright. Then we got, okay, let's see how this calibrating is going. Okay, we're on the north side now. Once it does the north, then it'll do the south. And now we can start capturing. But that's just, one of the things about, having these automated systems. I should have did this, it's the target. Like I said, it got close to the meridian, so it started counting down. And once it does that, then it has to recalibrate and do all that good stuff, because the telescope, the telescope will flip. It'll flip sides. So it has to refigure out where it's at and, get its, I guess you can say the coordinates on the opposite side. So yeah, it's a little change. It takes a little bit. But yeah, I want to, and you have to do it, because if you don't, I'll show you why if you don't, as soon as it finishes. But I'm going to turn the guiding off, and you'll see, like here we got plenty of nice looking stars. What I just did is I'm detecting, this number. The lower the number, the sharper your stars will be. So that's pretty good. Not having a automatic, what they call them, automatic focuser. An automatic focuser, yeah, that'll get it a whole lot better. But let's zoom in on the core. But this is the core of Andromeda. So there's a black hole in there. There's a black hole, a supermassive black hole sitting right down in the center of here. Now, of course, my little small telescope, 72 millimeters, that ain't gonna get it. But you need a radio telescope or an X-ray telescope to detect the black hole anyway. But there's a supermassive black hole sitting right there in the center of this galaxy. Like I say, this is kick do low. And it's kick do low because that's what Kent do. Kent coming to kick your dough in. That's what he gonna do. Okay. I calibrating this stop. Let's we're gonna line it up just to save a little time. Because what it will do, it's just gonna tick back, line those little circles up with that box, which will take a minute or two. But just recentering the target makes that process speed up a little bit. So that's what we're doing now. Okay. While that's doing that, hey, you're absolutely right there, bro. And that's one of the reasons why me and Miss Juju do the shows we do. We in the format we do them in. It's for the children. We want to get our kids involved in this because there are so many discoveries to be made in the universe, and we as a community, we need to get in on that game. You know, it's a lot going on out in the cosmos. And like I say, there are a lot of discoveries yet to be made. Okay, so let me show you why this guiding is so important. Okay, I'm turning the guiding off. And now what we're gonna do is let's take a 30-second exposure and see what we get. But this is why you have to have, if you're gonna take pictures, you have to have the mount and the guiding system, so you'll get good quality exposures, because it's hard you know, to process star trails and things like that. So let's see what we get out of this 10-second exposure. You see it move, and you see that, you see how those stars are elongated like that, and that's off of 30 seconds. Let's go a little longer. Let's do a minute. But you see how now backed off is okay, but when you zoom in, yeah, you can see that's not good. That's not good at all. So we're gonna go for a minute, and you'll really see how bad it is. Certain place in the so-called edge of the universe. Yes, Miss Felicia, that's one of the big questions, you know, that needs an answer in astronomy. You know, that's one of the things we've talked to Dr. Farrar about as well. You know, the formation of these supermassive black holes early in the universe's or in the cosmos's history. You know, how did they get so big so fast? You know, that's one of the main questions that we need answers to. Okay, here's a 1 minute exposure without guiding. Y'all see that? That look bad. So, you know, that we can't do nothing without our guiding. It's a must. You got to have it if you want to take pictures. You know, without it, it's not good at all. So now what I'm doing is lining it back up, putting, you know, getting the target right back in the center, and then the guiding will kick in, and we're gonna take a 5-minute exposure, and I'll let y'all see the detail that comes out and the reason why you want to take those long exposures. But once it gets lined up, okay, here's the 5-second exposure. See, my stars are back tight, but it's gonna get better because, like I said, this is only 5 seconds. I'm gonna give you one for 5 minutes, and then we'll get Kick Dolo in tonight. Then we'll go back to Chilemboy Sosa. That one should be past meridian now. It should be. Give y'all a quick glimpse of that one, and get ready to come back tomorrow. Let me see, the Heart Nebula, which is my trusty companion, Miss Juju. That one will be up probably, I'm gonna need a little time. That'll be later on tonight, maybe about 2 a.m. So I might get a picture of that one. And I don't know, well, I won't be able to do that one live though. That'll be like 2 a.m. No, y'all be asleep. I probably would too, huh? But we'll get, let me see, I know the Bobby's Nebula, that one, it's rising about 4 a.m. So that'll probably be better to try to get that one next month. Yeah, next month will be better for Bobby. Miss Tiff, the one of my favorite pictures, that's the Helix Nebula. That one is probably up now, but that's on the other side of the house. So I have to probably do that one tomorrow night. I can tear that because I got to break my stuff down and move it to the front of the house. That'll take a little time. So we'll probably do that one, tomorrow or maybe the next night. But yeah, this is basically, what's going on, what I'm doing, getting these pictures, and man, I love it. It's just chill. Once I get all my pictures collected, processing them the next morning, yeah, and you come out with some satisfying or gratifying, however you want to call it, just beautiful pictures. Just beautiful pictures. And I have some printed on canvas. I'll pull them out tomorrow as well. Let y'all see some of those. It's pretty dope. But yeah, this is all happening in real time. Everything we're doing right now is happening in real time. This is the countdown. Like I said, from 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. This right here, this goes into pictures that I've already taken, certain things. Let's see what we got here. NGC 7331. Oh yeah, that's a galaxy there. I think that's Caldwell 30. And we got Stephen's Quintet right here. That's actually like 4, maybe 5 galaxies that are merging together. I know you can't hardly see it, but me from looking at this for so long, I know the smut, when it looks smudgy like that, that's something. These are stars. The stars, you can pretty much tell. But when you see something like this that looks kind of blurry, that everything else is rather sharp, but that's blurry, those are galaxies, or either nebula. See, that's a galaxy. Now it looks small like that because of the focal length of my telescope. So I'm only shooting at 400 millimeters. So that's gives you a bigger, the smaller the number, the wider field of view you have. If I want to get close up to this galaxy, then I have to pull out my Celestron C6, which has a 1500 millimeter focal length. So it's going to give me a smaller field of view, which will actually make this look bigger. But being that I'm using a small refractor, only 400 millimeters, I got a wider field of view. But how do I know what I got in this picture? I hit this annotate button and it'll let me know. So like I say, this is Caldwell 30. This is a galaxy. It's about 30 to 40 million light years away from Earth, from us. And this is what's called Stephen's Quintet. It's actually four galaxies in there, and they're much farther away, much farther away. But once I get so many of them, stack them together, then the details will come out. That's why you take so many different exposures, so you can bring out the details in what you have. Okay, we're getting close. Let's see, 6 seconds, and we're gonna have a first exposure of kick dolo. Here we go. All right. Now this is what's up. Now I will get 100, 150 of these shots like this, compress them together to get one image, and then go in and clean up all the noise and even everything out. But as we blow it up, now you can see these stars. See how round these stars are? Now this is a 5-minute exposure versus the 10-second without the guiding. You remember how the stars were streaking? Well, this is with the guiding. So being able to guide and stay locked on this in one area is going to bring out all the details like this dust. These are dust lanes within the galaxy. These are dust lanes. That's another one. Got one over here. This is a merging dwarf galaxy. See, compared to the stars, you see how fuzzy that is? That's another galaxy. Same as this one. See how fuzzy that is? Yeah, that's a galaxy versus the stars. Now, all the stars are within our galaxy, the Milky Way. But of course, this object, which is another galaxy that's actually merging with Kikdo, and this is a galaxy that's merging. It's not within our galaxy. They're far away. This is what, 2.5 light years away, headed directly towards us. And at the same time, these two are merging with Kikdo. So I would get, like I say, maybe about 100, 150 of those and compress them together to make one photo. Yep. This is what it is. So this is Kikdo Low. Yes, you can say, and that's what we refer to Andromeda in the Spaceage Africans Astronomy Club catalog. Why? Because it's kicking in the door of the Milky Way galaxy. It's headed straight for us. Well, it depends. Some people say 50-50 chance, but that's with everything, 50-50 chance. But the universe is so vast, you know what I'm saying? And we could come close. It could be a near miss. Who knows? We don't know. But what the evidence is telling us is that it's headed straight for us. And they know that because in the rotation of the galaxy, some of the stars are, well, when things are headed to, towards you in the cosmos, most of the colors shift to the blue. That means it's coming towards you. When colors get to shift into the red, that means it's moving away or it's very, very far away. That's what we call red shift and blue shift. Now, red shift is more popular because, that's you hear that term a lot more because mostly everything is spreading out, moving away from each other. There's these huge voids in between objects that are expanding. As far as our local group of galaxies, the gravitational effect of all of these galaxies is greater than the expansion. So these objects are heading towards each other. And that's where you get the blue shift. Now, you don't get a lot of blue shift because, like I said, there's not a lot of objects that are heading towards us. But this is one. Andromeda is one. Yes, ma'am. For the most part, I use my Stellarium app, Ms. Lisa, and that's how I determine, you know, one of the ways I determine what will be out or available for me to see and at what time and on what, you know, day, time of the year. A lot of that, you know, it plays a big part in gathering, you know, data. So there's, you know, like I said, because the Earth is rotating and orbiting the sun, there's some things that you can't see to certain parts of the year, and then there's other things you can. Like, take for instance the Big Dipper. You can see the Big Dipper pretty much, which sits to the north. You can see that pretty much year round. But things like, for instance, Bobby's Nebula or Orion constellation, you can only see that at a certain time of year because it's our travels around the sun puts certain things out during the daytime. And with the scattering of the sun's light up against our atmosphere, you can't see outer space in the daytime. All you see is blue when you look out. So there's stars there. It's just that the reflection of the blue light, which we is caused by the atmosphere, is brighter than the stars. So that's why we can't see them in the daytime, but they are there. So there's certain things you can't see till certain parts of the year. Okay, we got let's go check out Chilimwe Sosa. I'm gonna stop my guiding so I don't have to go through another calibration. So that's why I cut it off. Should be past the meridian now. Yeah. Here we go. And all of this, I've taken pictures of all of this. This is beautiful, you know, in different parts and spots. But all of this nebulosity, before I get to that, all of this nebulosity, this is an arm of the Milky Way galaxy. And when I go out, you can actually see it better. Okay, this is one of the arms of the Milky Way. So you got all this dust and all of this gas. And then we get into another arm, which is the scutum. I think they call this the scutum arm, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But this is the south, like I said, the other side of the house, which I'd have to tear my stuff down and move it over. But I mean, this is what it looks like when if you could just get to a dark place, really, really dark place, you can actually see a lot of this, the Milky Way itself. And this is the constellation Sagittarius. And this is where our supermassive black hole resides. It's in between Ophiuchus and Sagittarius, which is the teapot. Rho Ophiuchi is, yeah, it's a pretty big constellation, Rho Ophiuchi. But our black hole sits along in here. We got the teapot, yeah. It's gonna be like right along in this area. And it's, like I said, I'll never be able to get a picture of it, not with, you know, this equipment I have, but just, you know, pretty dope to actually understand and get an understanding of the night sky. Okay, let's find Chilimwe Sosa. Let y'all get a glimpse of that. Then we'll call it a night till tomorrow. Get lined up on it. Back out some. Okay, that's where we at on kick though. This is where we're going. So now this is one of those times since we're gonna cross. This is the meridian. This is the halfway point in the sky. This is the highest point that any target will reach, and then it will start to what we call set. So they rise in the east to this point, and then they begin to set in the west. So we'll start moving. Oh, I got to stop taking pictures first. Oh, this is a good one. See, I stopped the guiding, and look how bad that looks. Glad to get rid of that one there. Okay, let's go back to, let's get the brain in the sky here real quick. Back out so y'all can see that movement. Okay, let's go. Okay, now it's moving. Okay, let's see. No, Miss Felicia, that's not called the Great Rift, but it's um it's the Milky Way is a spiral galaxy which has, arms in it. And they notice by what we're doing now, taking pictures, observing the sky. Of course, they got better, instruments when you're dealing with Hubble and James Webb. You're gonna get better quality stuff, of course. But what's going on is there's a spacecraft called, or an observatory called Gaia, and before it there was Hipparchus. What they do is they measure as many stars as they possibly can to get color, temperature. Well, from the color, they can get the temperature, the luminosity, and the direction they're moving in because they observe them over time. So that's how they can tell the spiral arms and how many arms just by the movement of the stars. And within those, you can see lane, you can see dust, and a lot of dust because the dust blocks out the starlight, a lot of starlight. And that's how they can, pretty much tell the direction that everything's moving in and what's what. I hope that answered your question. Where's yours? Oh, you mean my I hadn't, I don't know, I hadn't decided what I won for me. I hadn't even really thought about it, Juju. To be honest with you, I guess because I've been working on everybody else, and I hadn't even thought of one for me. So I don't know. We'll have to come up with something. Okay, my guiding has settled. So now I'll start with the 5-minute exposure. And what you'll see will be right in there. Oh, it's too late to annotate it. I mean, I'm sorry. But yeah. And what this is a wolf red star that's actually shedding a lot of material, and it looks like a brain to me. So I thought it would be fitting for Sosa and my good brother Chilimbwe, because that's their thing, they're that brain. And that's where I get all my brain information from. Dealing with them guys. So yeah, but I'm like I say, I don't want to keep y'all too long. This here don't take much. And actually I'm just getting my feet wet in the going live thing. It's pretty dope. I'm proud of myself. It took me a while to get here, but I made it. Yep. So once that I give y'all a glimpse of that, then it's been an hour. Man, it don't seem like it's been that long. But I do appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out with me. Like I say, this mostly what I do. This is my contribution to the Pseudo Killers, astronomy, and actually being able to go out and do this and bring it to you guys live. It ain't, I don't know of anyone in this community that's doing that. So, we're front runners in this arena. But this is what's happening in the cosmos. And it's so much. These are only two objects. We've only looked at two objects tonight. Well, maybe three. The one I started out on, but I was, the work that I was doing. But it's so many objects. When we get into those shopping for a telescope, you'll see it's a lot. It's a lot to it. So, but I do appreciate you guys coming through. Like I say, this is what I love to do. And I'm gonna have to next time I'm gonna figure out how to share the link. So if y'all want to come on and ask questions, that's great. I'm a conversationalist when it comes to this. I do better when it's for me, when it's a conversation. That's where I'm more comfortable at in the conversation setting. I know a lot of people don't really understand or keep up with what's going on in the cosmos. So for me, it's better when I have the interaction. That's one reason why I love doing the show with Miss Juju, because her energy keeps me going, But this is one of those things, it's done. You can only do it late at night, and most people are going to bed or already in bed. So yeah, I'm usually up and down all night. I'll nap a little bit while it's going. I have to keep my eye on it, make sure that my guiding stays good. My focus stays good on it. So it's a nighttime thing. I appreciate your audio. I appreciate that. I really do. That's why I do it, man. And that'll fuel me to keep going. Indeed. Yeah, there's some beautiful skies in Hawaii. Some beautiful skies. I actually, oops, I didn't mean to do that. This picture, my profile picture there, I took I took that picture on Mauna Kea a couple years ago. So that's where I'm at on top of Mauna Kea. yeah, that was a pretty dope trip. Okay, we got our first. Here we go. Okay. So here's what I would call the brain in the sky. This is Chilimboy Sosa. And this is just one 5-minute exposure. But when I get 100 of them and compress them together to make one, you'll see a whole lot more detail. And it looks like a brain. And I do have a finished picture. I don't know if I have it, but I'll have it tomorrow to show y'all that's what I got to do. I got to load my catalog over here on my MacBook. But once I get the catalog on here, then yeah, we'll do that. I can show y'all the finished product of most of these that we will be going through. But this is a live look at what we call Chilimboy Sosa. We've had the live look of Kick Dough. So now what we're gonna do, see there's I got some clouds rolling in. And that's what it looks like. You see how the picture kind of fades like? Those are clouds rolling through. So that's one of the reasons why you kind of have to, keep an eye on what you got going on, because down here in the South, it could rain at any point in time. And that happened to me a few weeks ago. Fell asleep and a small rain cloud came through. The telescope was full of water. I had to let my equipment dry out for a few days. Yeah. But yeah, that's what, this is what we do. This is what the Spaceage Africans Astronomy Club will be about going forward. We're going to be everything astronomy, from telescopes to cameras to eyepieces, mounts. It's going to be everything astronomy. How to shop for them, how to set them up. Because believe it or not, you do have to set them up. You can't just pull it out and start looking. You have to get your telescope and your mount lined up with the Earth's rotation. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble. So we're going to go through all those things going forward. So, but like I said, once again, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you for coming through. First time at the wheels of the tank by myself, rolling solo. So I hope it was beneficial to you guys. Definitely beneficial for me. If anything, a confidence builder. Stepping out. I ain't gonna say it was tough, but hey, we made it. We made it. I went through this whole process by myself. I had to make one phone call. Appreciate that, Miss Juju. But yeah. And with that, we're gonna say, like I always say, when you're scientifically literate, they can't drag you down to their level and beat you up with experience. Peace out, y'all.